Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another episode of your Footy Fantasy Podcast show. Today we are doing a season review of Liverpool and the almost season. Probably the almost greatest season that ever happened in football. But they have a lot to talk about. I'm sure they have a lot of great things to talk about and definitely a lot of disappointments. I have with me here today a regular Ola Da Vinci and Ryan returning again to come and talk about his beloved Liverpool. Um, it's been a long season. I don't know how I'm gonna. They will tell you what they feel. I don't know if I can call it a great season. I don't know if I'll call it disappointing one, but maybe somewhere in between. And so we're going to dive right in and talk about Liverpool for the next hour. Before we start, please remember to follow us, subscribe, and drop your live comments. YouTube at Footy Fantasy. Same thing with Facebook, Footy Fantasy. However, on Twitter, it is Footy AD Fantasy. FOOTIEADFANTASY. And that's only YouTube. The rest is at Footy Fantasy. So let's dive right in. We're going to start with an overall review of the Liverpool season. And I'm going to ask Ryan. I haven't seen you in a while, so I want to hear what you have to say. Tell me, out of 10, what do you rate Liverpool season? And go ahead and give me why.
First of all, thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure. I would say I would give us a rating of 8.5 out of 10 for the season. Reason being, the season was close to perfect, but close to perfect isn't perfect. The League Cup and the FA Cup, two trophies that have eluded us for some time. So it was absolutely amazing to win those once again. Obviously, a lot of people will look at everything and, the history books don't really remember the losers. They only remember the victors. And coming second to Man City again, horrible, painful. And to come so close like we did, and obviously to lose in the Champions League final, both very, very disappointing. But I think, even the biggest of trolls will know deep down, although they probably will never admit it, they would be envious of how our season went. It's easy. They'll say, some people will say you're only as good as your last game. Okay, fair enough. But at the same time, to accomplish as much as we've accomplished this season, there's not a United fan. I don't care what any United fan says. They would love to be in Liverpool's position and know, look, we can just build on, the near misses as opposed to having to restructure. But for me, 8.5, I feel is a fair rating for the season to leave everything up to the final day and to just fall short. Obviously, it's painful, but all round it was a terrific season, I believe.
Ola, a follow up on that, please.
Yeah, I don't know if people are saying ours is the almost season. Then what will we talk about when we talk about other teams? The no starter season, the season that never started for them. Because if we are almost, that means we almost got there, but they never got started in the first place. So...
You were asked to talk about Liverpool, please. Focus. Stay on topic.
I just wanted to say, it's on topic. It's on topic. I'm just clarifying that if we had an almost season, then we have to compare, because that's the context I'm going to put it in. Because at the end of the day, if you win 2 trophies out of 4, that's a very good season, in my opinion. For me, I'll go with 8 over 10. And I even think, maybe I'm being harsh, but of course, it's in the context of what could have been. But I wouldn't disregard the 2 trophies we won. When we started our season with this podcast, when I think Ayo was asking what will represent a good season for Liverpool, I'm pretty sure I said FA Cup and top 4. That was for me, because at that point, if we go back to the episode, I'm sure you'll see I said something like that. I was like, FA Cup, we've not won FA Cup for 16 years. 16 years, that's a long time not to win the FA Cup. And we have not won any domestic trophy for over a decade. So I was thinking, many Liverpool fans were even saying it. They were like, "Oh, Klopp never takes the domestic cup seriously. We should be trying to win the domestic cup." Now, guess what? We won both in the season. And then people won't start getting angry again. Oh, you won only the 2 cups. Yeah, but we've not won them for a long time. The League Cup was 2011 and the FA Cup 2006. Their teenagers were already balling hard, at this point. We've been born since that time. And so, yeah, that's a long time. So I was very happy with that. I was happy with the domestic cups. The league for me was not too disappointing because I also remember coming on this podcast around maybe February or January, and I was like, it's all over. It was almost like 14 points at that point, 14 points gap to City. So I had taken my mind off that. I was like, City won't mess this up. They're too good to mess this up. But the hope is what kills you. Because when we now manage to close that gap, then you're like, wow, we could actually do this, So that kills you. But I still wasn't too disappointed. I was just happy we took it to the final day. Because let us be frank, if we are watching a league that the league is finished in January, then that's not fun. We don't want to start being like Bundesliga, French league. You want the Premier League. That's what we watch. You want it to go to the last day, and Liverpool took it to the last day. I wasn't too disappointed with losing out. It was by a point, and at a stage, it was even still possible because Villa were leading 2-0 on the final day, so it was still possible. But I wasn't too disappointed. The Champions League final was the one that really disappointed me. That one was the one. That was the one I thought, yes, we should be able to win that. I thought we were better than them. I thought this time for revenge. I bought into the Mo Salah thing. The Mo Salah, yes, we're getting revenge. I bought into it, and yeah, that's the one that was disappointing. But overall, 63 games. We played all the games we could play. And I think for me, that represents a success. At the end of the day, yeah, we lost in the final. But the fact that we even got to 3 finals in 5 years, it's not bad. So 8/10 for me. 8/10 for me. Like Brian said, it was close to perfection. Of course, it's not perfection, but I'm just happy with the two trophies. I'm happy with those 2 trophies. People who dismiss it, I can see people already trolling and say, why did they post parade for League Cup and FA Cup? But man, it's been so long since we won those trophies. Seriously, it is. So I'm happy with those.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to give a rating. As a Man United fan, I don't think you will say I'm objective if I give a rating. But I'll just put some comments before I say what I want to say. First of all, someone said this. They said you guys are doing a good job. Facebook users, their names don't transfer. And then he goes ahead and says, I believe it's the same person. Laugh out loud, cap. So he might be trolling us, but that's fair enough. And then now somebody else goes, almost is still not there, though, at the end of the day, laugh out loud. And that's what I probably would say. You know that Brandy song? Because everybody knows almost doesn't count. Like, basically, you guys could have had the greatest football season of all time, and you messed it up. The league, you couldn't have done much about it, but you guys kind of shot yourselves in the foot with the Champions League. You didn't score goals; you had the chances, so you couldn't blame it on bad luck. Or it was just you guys not taking your chances. You outplayed Liverpool, the same like Man City. I played Madrid. Same like Man City. You outplay a team, create so many chances, and they get one clean chance, and they just bang it in. The league, yeah, I believe the league thing was just a thing of hope killing you. Man City almost threw it away. I don't think you guys played in some times of the season better than City. I think overall you might have been the better team in the league, which is weird to say because you didn't win it. But it was never yours to win. It was always City's to lose.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Man United fan, I'm going to remind you guys of something that there was a time when we used to play kids in the Carling Cup, and we once withdrew from the FA Cup. So those are still secondary trophies. So in 20 years' time, when we talk about this season, we're going to remember Real Madrid and remember City. To be fair, we're not going to remember Liverpool. They'll be like, yeah, there was a time they were great, but it wasn't this season. It wasn't, and of course, we won't remember Manchester United. Please. So,
Oh, see, let me say something. Even there's this match that Liverpool beats Man United 4-1 at Old Trafford, and Ryan will know that many of us still consider one of our favorite times as Liverpool fan. So even if Liverpool had won no trophy this season, that 5-0 and 4-0 against Man United, it stays that will last forever. You're saying, oh, nobody will remember Liverpool. Yeah, man, we will remember. Don't worry, we will remember.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that game, and I remember what happened at the end of that season.
Yes, United won the league, but this time we won 9-0 against United, but we won trophies.
Aren't you guys tired of this? Aren't you tired of that feeling where you're winning derby games? You know, you're winning those tight games, and then you're losing when it counts. You know, remember that season? That season you brought up was a season you actually had the chance, and then you blew it up.
Look, let me just interject. In the last 4 years, I've seen us win every trophy available to win. So
you won it in 4 years. You could have won it in 1 year.
I don't care. I've seen my team win every trophy available to win. In that time, my team hasn't won anything.
Every trophy available.
You could have both agree, but in the last 5 years, in this time frame, I've witnessed everything that we could win being won. Whoever commented the name wasn't showing. I don't know who you support because I don't know who you are, but I know my team is in a better position than yours. I would rather be a fan of my team than your team. Unless
what if it's a City fan that commented? What if it's a Madrid fan?
If you're a Man City fan, I still don't care. Like, my team is better than your team. You win the league, okay, well done. You won it, 4 times in 5 years. We don't really have many of those. And honestly, if it was a City fan, I don't credit. He's probably been sport in the last 6 years. So
wait. I brought this for you guys. Because it seems like you guys are here to console yourselves. So
look, I gave my team an 8.5 out of 10. It wasn't perfect. That's the first thing I said. But I'm happy where my team is, and I like the way we're progressing. We haven't regressed at all in the last 4 years, apart from last season where, the season before last, where everything was just a complete disaster. Look where we're back. We're back. Nobody, I don't think. See, even Ola said top 4 is what he thought we'd finish because that's how terrible last season was. We got to the final. They played in every game available. Okay, we didn't get everything we wanted at the end, and ultimately the sadness is because the last game of the season, probably the biggest one, we didn't win in. You know what? Dust yourself off. You go again, and I'm confident my team will go again.
That's it.
That's okay. I'm probably not confident, but hopeful your team has hit the ceiling.
I wouldn't expect you to think anything else, you know. And I've serious question if you were wishing as well. So let's
move on quickly.
But just give them a quick reminder that they should put their names in the comments. You know, I mean, when they comment, they should just put their name so we know who's talking. So we can know who to direct our troll to.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That is quite right. You could just put your names in the Facebook comments because the rest won't show. That's right. But let's move on and do the top 3 goals. I'll start with you. The best 3 goals. Please don't mention Old Trafford again. This is becoming
what do you mean?
Here. I mean, like, if you guys wanted to do this, you should tell me not to come. You had other games you played this season. Talk about another game.
Don't worry. Bucci, well, you have the handkerchief there with you, so you can use the handkerchief on yourself, you know, by the time you start going in hard. But to be fair, I don't have any Man U goals against Man U in my top 3.
Thank God.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I'm nice. You see, I'm nice like that. So top 3 goals of the season for me. The first one will be Salah against City. Yeah, the one where he went all Maradona, just dancing around 4 or 5 players.
That was a good goal. Yes.
That was a good goal. The annoying thing that wasn't the winning goal. That was just the thing, but that doesn't take away from how good it was. It was on his right foot, so that for me, that's one thing he probably could improve on, using his right foot to score more goals. So that was fantastic. The next one is Thiago against Porto. It actually even won Champions League goal of the season. Thiago against Porto, it was both a Champions League goal of the season. I'm sure many people probably won't remember it. Non-Liverpool fans probably were not watching that match because they knew we were going to beat Porto anyway, so they probably didn't want to watch us beat Porto. But the second goal, it was just like a half volley with the side foot, and the ball just skimmed the pitch and just rose. So I can't describe it. You have to watch it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful goal from Thiago. And my third top goal of the season was Mane against City in the FA Cup. It was just like a flowing move, team move, pass, Trent to Thiago. Thiago lifted it to Mane, and Mane just wham, volleyed it in, also with the side foot. So those are really important goals. And I think that goal was one that actually took the game away from City because that took us 3 goals up at halftime. Yeah, so even though they came back into it, but I think it was just too far. If it was just 2 goals, they probably would have had more. But by the time it went 3-0 with that Mane goal, That was it. So you see, I didn't put anything about Man United. So Buchi. That's it. Those are my top 3 goals.
All right, Ryan. What are your top 3 goals?
Top 3. So coming in, I'll go reverse order. So coming in at 3 was Salah against Watford. Very similar to the one he got against City, and that was his very next goal as well. So he scored those 2 back to back.
That's right.
Yeah, little skill, close control in and around the box. I think he went past 2 or 3 players before cutting it back, and even the Watford fans applauded him for that one. So that was a special one. At 2, like Bucci saying, Thiago against Porto, absolutely ridiculous goal. I think I don't think it even touched the floor. It sort of went down and then
it went down.
It just about to touch the floor and started rising again. So that was absolutely ridiculous. Hopefully he can do a few more of them next season. And number 1 has got to be Salah against City. Obviously, the level of opposition, the intensity of the game, that was probably one of the best one of the best games of last season. And it just showed that is Mo Salah on form, doing what he does. And I'm just, absolutely gutted that form didn't continue after AFCON. But yeah, that was, for me, without doubt, the best goal we scored last season.
All right. That's a very easy one, a quick one.
Very, very easy.
All right, so we'll move on. Let's see. What are your top 3 performances by player team? You can tell me, you can put them, like, for example, you could say Liverpool versus Madrid or Salah's goal versus Madrid. Just pick whichever one you want. Yeah.
I see what you did there. Don't worry, I'm going to enter Man United now. But what you just did, this is your repercussion for going there.
Okay, go ahead.
For me. Well, the first one will be Salah hat-trick against Man United. Performance of the season, individual performance of the season. I think no player had ever done that at Old Trafford. No player had scored a Premier League hat-trick. And it was so sweet. You could just see their defense just crumbling. They just didn't know how to handle him. They were just banging in the goals, left foot, right foot, running through, chipping the ball past the game.
Move on.
No, I have to provide a refresher. Some people might have forgotten what happened, so I have to detail it. No, it was fantastic. It was really, really good. And what made it even more enjoyable was the fact that it could have been more. He could have even scored more than 3. But yeah, we'll take the hat-trick. Second top performance of the season, Thiago against Man United. I think that match was actually what cemented Thiago in the team of the season, the PFA team of the season, because it was just like, man, it was a man against boys, basically. And I remember Gary Neville was so disappointed. He was like, I remember I want to quote what he said in commentary. He said, don't get this wrong. Man United are a waste of space. But Liverpool, and he just went on to compliment Liverpool. But for him to even just say those words, just say, look, we're a waste of space today, and Thiago is just running the show. Thiago he was untouchable that day. He was just like playing in the park. We were just like, who are these people? Who is this? Oh, that's what's his name? Scott McTominay. Oh, okay, I'll just dance around him. Oh, who's in front of me? Oh, Phil Jones. Non-existent. I'll just go past him. It was ridiculous. No, that was too sweet. I'm sure that actually cemented his spot in the PFA team of the year. But my third one, it's actually not about a player, it's about Liverpool itself against Arsenal in the League Cup semi-final. And I'll just go provide the context here, because Arsenal, they are drawn 0-0 at Anfield. And they were all feeling themselves. They were all like, yeah, we got 0-0 at Anfield. We're going to qualify for the League Cup final. You know Arsenal fans now. You know how they roll. They just get ahead of themselves. And the reason why they were getting ahead of themselves was because Salah, Mane, Keita were not around. They were in the AFCON. And we had a couple of injuries. Thiago wasn't even available. So they were thinking, yeah, this is their time for them to bash Liverpool. And then we went there and put them in their place, 2-0. And up front, we even started the teenager, Kate Gordon. That showed how depleted our squad was. We played, I don't know if Ryan remembers, we played Kate Gordon in that match. He started. Yeah, he played over an hour. So that shows how depleted we were. So it was only like Jota was probably the only proper goal scorer we had. And luckily he scored the 2 goals. And the whole team performed so well. Like we dominated that. Arsenal were basically at full strength. They rushed back Thomas Partey from the AFCON. They rushed him back. Let Partey come and play against Liverpool. And then your man, he got on the pitch for 2 minutes and got a red card. You're like,
it was disappointing in that game. Yeah, I remember that. Game.
For me, that was a top performance. That's when I started believing that this Liverpool squad is capable. Because at that point, we were in a bit of a rocky patch. We had drawn a couple of games. We were struggling. Not that we're struggling, but we're not playing very well around that January period. But without our big hitters, we went to Arsenal. I know it's Arsenal, but it's still a big game. And it was a League Cup semi-final. And that's when I started having faith that this squad is probably the best. Not probably, it's the best squad I've seen in my lifetime as a Liverpool fan. So that's why I'll give that my third top performance of the season. Here we go.
Yeah, okay. Shall I go?
Yeah,
sure. Okay, yes, mine is quite similar. Only difference is probably number 3. Number 3, I'm giving it to Luis Diaz against Villarreal in the second leg. That game, probably one of the worst I've seen us play for some time. That first half against Villarreal, we were absolutely clueless. Obviously the Villarreal fans got behind the team and revved them up, and they were all over us. It was absolutely ridiculous. I did feel I thought, this is it. Well, that's it, done. In hindsight, I probably wish we did just get knocked out that game because the final was still hitting me. I can't lie. But soon as Luis Diaz came on in the second half, and just to sort of digress slightly, I actually feel as though, as much as I love him and how amazing he settled into the team, I wanted him to come off the bench in that Champions League final. Just to digress a bit, I said to my friends before the game started, all his top performances of the season have come when he's come off the bench, and he's just bamboozled players. Once they've gotten in their flow, he comes on and just changes perspective completely, and he did that against Villarreal, and that just completely changed the game around. So he got a goal, he got an assist, and he was just absolutely flying down that left. It was a toss up. Who was going to come in number 3 for me? It was either that or Mane in the League Cup, the FA Cup semi final. But I think Diaz's impact was more influential, in changing the game. So he comes in at number 3. Number 2, it has to go to Thiago against United. That is his best performance, by a country mile in a Liverpool shirt. He was, the whole team played well that day, but he, oh my God, I was talking about for days afterwards. He absolutely ran things. United weren't great, fair enough, but every pass, and it wasn't like little short, simple passes he was making. He was spraying the ball. He was taking people on. He was winning, duels that, he looked like he had no business winning. And he stood out, completely from everyone else who was having a good game. His performance was just absolutely top notch. But number 1, it's got to be, Salah with a hat-trick at Old Trafford. Again, the whole team played well, but that feat is, it's not beans to go to Old Trafford and score a hat-trick. Maybe now it is, but for a long time it hasn't been. And, to play the way he did, and like Ola said, he could have scored a lot more in that game. United weren't great, but Salah was just, tormenting everybody. I could actually pick a few people that could get in my top three just from that. Keita could probably get in the top 3 performances from that game alone. But
I was about to point that out. That wait, like, he cemented his place. Like, dude, that means Emmanuel Dennis should be in the Premier League team of the season, because everybody played well against Manchester United. Like, they were just wrecking us.
Well, if we had a Watford fan and you asked them to be a top 3, I'm sure Emmanuel Dennis again.
Emmanuel Dennis is in there. Like, it was everybody. This was like everybody was running the train on us. So this idea
nobody beat you 5-0 at Old Trafford, though. Nobody beat you 5-0.
Yeah, but Watford beat us 4-1. So this idea, you guys.
Not at Old Trafford.
Okay, I'm going to take a comment quickly. This is actually top 3 goals. It's going Dr. Chakrabarti from Facebook. He's saying his top 3 goals are Salah versus City, Salah versus Watford.
I agree.
And the Thiago Daisy Cutter versus Porto. Okay, that makes sense. Look, I don't have anything to add to the top 3 performances. I just want to add that you guys should stop going on about Man United because everybody did well against it. It wasn't special. It wasn't special. Please stop it. Please stop it. I mean, I remember Atletico Madrid looking like the best team in the world against Manchester United, and then next game they looked like they drew a Scheitel. So please. Pipe it down.
In
Pipe
fairness,
it down a bit.
Salah's form. Salah only scored his goals against United. And
exactly. He just disappeared. Yeah, he just totally disappeared. So I don't know. So let's move on to the most interesting part of this podcast. That is the disappointment of the season. Ooh, please.
I'll enlighten you.
Okay. All right, please go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. Go first. I'll let you want to go first.
Who wants to go first?
Leaving?
No. I just need to switch my chairs. I'm here. This is the most interesting part. Why would I be leaving now? No, I'm only switching my chairs out. So, why would I be leaving now? The most interesting part of the game? You're kidding me, right?
Disappointment of this season, definitely.
Oh, please.
Was not scoring.
I'm rubbing my fingers.
Was not scoring 10 goals at Old Trafford when we had a chance. Because we went 5-0 up on 50 minutes and we had 40 more minutes to score more goals, and then they went down to 10 men and we decided to turn it to a training session. We should have gone for more goals, just have killed them off. So this 5-0 is in the books for all time, but imagine what 10-0 would have felt like. And we could have scored 10. We just decided to take it easy because they started kicking our players. Pogba just came, wanted to break Keita into two. Some of the other players.
Messi rule, they call it.
Exactly. See, Mr. Ronaldo was so angry at our little young fella, Curtis Jones, started kicking him in the ribs. So that's my biggest disappointment of the season, that we didn't spell Manchester United. We could have spelled.
Ryan, please. What's your own, please?
Okay, wait. Let me give you what you want to hear, Zaza. Let me give you what you want to hear. You want to hear about Madrid? That's what you want to hear about.
Just tell me your mind, please.
Yeah.
Just don't indulge me.
That is unfortunately for me. Are you finished? Are you done, or did you want to?
I was just joking. Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll do the honors.
Do the honors, please.
The Champions League final, of course, is still, like I said, I told you guys before the podcast started, that one, this is the first I've spoken about football since that game, because I've just completely, depression. I nearly didn't go into work the next day because I was just so down. It hurt. But yeah, the signs, the omens, as soon as I saw late kickoff, I was like, oh God, here we go. As soon as Courtois made that save from Mane's shot, I was just thinking, and then they just soaked up everything we threw at them. They were just soaking up, and I could see it coming from halftime. The build up, like Ola said, I too, even though I don't say it out loud, I bought into the yes. I wanted Madrid. When Salah said we want revenge, I was saying yes, sitting there like this with my mouth covered. Yes, we want revenge. I wanted that revenge. It hurt. I watched all the old finals and all the hype videos for the match. So I was excited for it. I didn't want City because I thought I don't want to be that team that loses to Man City and lets them win the first European trophy. No, the same way I didn't want us to play.
Just 1 second, Brian. For me, sorry, cut you off, but that's the only little consolation for me that it wasn't Man City.
It wasn't Man City. Yes,
that's the only consolation. Because if it was Man City, I wouldn't even show my face.
Oh yeah, if you asked me to come on this podcast, I'd tell you to do one. No chance. The same way I felt the same way when we played Tottenham. I wanted Ajax. Like, at least if we lose to Ajax, I don't care if they're kids or whatever. Ajax have European pedigree, even though they haven't shown it for years. I don't want to lose to Tottenham and have Tottenham gloat and then we're the team that gave them their first trophy. So that is the only consolation from losing that final, that it wasn't to Man City. But going into the game, I wasn't thinking about losing. I thought we will beat this Real Madrid team. And I'm not normally that confident. And I was more confident for Real Madrid than I was Chelsea in the Carabao or FA Cup final. And, more fool me for thinking that, because at the end of the day, it's Real Madrid. And Real Madrid are one of those teams, and they've shown it throughout the Champions League this season. They don't have to play great to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have known that as a Liverpool fan, in most of the finals we play, we don't play great. We're not great in finals, even when we win. Tottenham were better than us when they beat us. Chelsea, I think Chelsea were probably a little bit better than us in both finals that we beat them, even though it went to pens. So, all the signs were there, but you're blinded by optimism, and things like that. And so there you go, Bucci. You're welcome.
How white is my green?
Very, do
when was the last time you had this white green? When United won the league 10 years ago.
There's a weird thing I found out about Liverpool when I was thinking about your season before this podcast, and which was what I felt was more disappointing was Liverpool failed to perform when they were expected to perform. The League Cup final, they were not the better team. No. Even as a matter of fact, a lot of big games you played this season. Chelsea, the 2 games in the league, you did not really outplay Chelsea. Man City should have beaten you twice, even though they were draw games. They were the better team. Villarreal was a smaller team, so you guys played better than them. The 2 finals against Chelsea, you came out of that game wondering, did Liverpool really beat Chelsea, or it was just a matter of luck? And then the Real Madrid game, the Real Madrid game was disappointing in the sense that they were supposed to be the better team, but they didn't seize the moment. And I think that was what happened as well with the FA Cup final and the League Cup final. The moment came to them. They won the penalty shootout, but they could have lost that too. So it was that little thing I felt about Liverpool where there was in the big games, I think they were a little bit underwhelming. I don't know. I can't call losing to Real Madrid a disappointment, to be fair, from my perspective. I know from your perspective it is, but that's why I'm changing it, because to call it a disappointment would be like, I'll be very honest. I wanted Real Madrid to win the Champions League once it got to that stage where it was, because I wasn't going to want City to win it, and I didn't want you guys to win it. So that was the best thing that could have happened in the world of
football.
It's
like 2 trophies for a United fan. Man City and Liverpool getting beat back to back.
Think about it. What's the best thing that could have happened in football was Man City never winning the Champions League. So please don't spare me that.
I'm with you there in that sense. Man City winning the Champions League, PSG winning the Champions League. That is, football. I'll stop watching.
It's football, exactly like football adulteration or something.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But to be fair, I just want to say those 3 finals. The league, like I said, you couldn't get it. The League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Champions League final, you come out of the game going, you guys should have done better. Even though you won the FA Cup and the League Cup final, which was great. But I think that was what translated into a lot of big games you guys played this season. It might have been because, of course, you were playing big teams. So, that's just me being fair. That's what I thought.
I have a big, not cutting across you, Bushi, but this is one of the things I wanted to address on this podcast. This recency bias, like you'll say, there's this thing going around that, Liverpool didn't score any goals in the 3 finals. Oh, that means they didn't do well. I think we played well in all the 3 finals. Against Chelsea, the first one, the League Cup, I admit maybe Chelsea were slightly better. They created better chances. They got a bit unlucky with the offside calls. Thank you, VAR, because that really rescued us in the League Cup. But the FA Cup, I think we dominated Chelsea more than they did, and I think Liverpool deserve to win. But my main issue is when did it become a bad thing to win a trophy on the penalty shootout? Because some people just want to start downplaying it and say, "Oh, you guys only won 2 trophies on penalty shootout." If that's so, then all these other big teams should start returning some of their trophies that they won on penalty shootout.
I'm not saying that, no.
No, you are not saying that. That's what I'm saying. I'm addressing what some people have been saying, because immediately Liverpool lost the Champions League final, then all the knives came out. Oh, you didn't score in any of the finals. Oh, you didn't win. The main point I wanted to make was, let me just really wrap up. The main point I wanted to make was when they say we didn't score in the finals, I remember finals that we scored in and we lost. So did they give us extra trophy for scoring in those finals? At the end of the day, carrying the trophy is what matters. So for me, I don't
lose, you win. Yeah,
exactly. So even for Madrid, when people say, okay, Liverpool, some people are arguing like, Liverpool were better than Madrid, and Madrid were better than. For me, that's not even the main thing. Madrid won; they carried the trophy.
Yeah, they scored when it mattered. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. When you get to the final, it doesn't become about who is better. Look at, like Ryan said, against Tottenham, Liverpool didn't really play very well in that final, but we won the trophy. We have number 6. Number 6 is standing in our cabinet. Nobody's going to give you an extra trophy for being the better team in the final. So I just wanted to address that because some people just want to now start using that as, oh, you didn't score in the final. Okay, but we beat some big teams to get to that final. To all those finals, we beat some big teams. We performed in those big teams.
How many big teams did you beat in the Champions League, my friend?
Atletico Madrid.
Okay,
Atletico Madrid, home and away.
Name another one.
The champions of Italy, the former champions and the present champions, we beat both of them. AC Milan and Inter Milan.
Okay.
Beat them.
Villarreal
knocked out Bayern Munich. Villarreal knocked out Juventus. People are now going recency bias and say, oh, Villarreal is by an easy team. Villarreal knocked out these two big teams, and next thing people are saying, oh, Liverpool beat Villarreal. It's just Villarreal. It's easy to say now. They almost even put us out. Right? Ryan said that was the worst we have played all season. Villarreal really had a chance to put Liverpool out. They really did.
That game still ended 5-2 on aggregate. Despite
because we had somebody off the bench, like Ryan said, Diaz was what rescued us that game. If we didn't have somebody like that, I'm telling you, we would have lost that game. We would have been kicked out. Villarreal was so good.
Let me just chime in as well. Sorry, like it's not the Carling Cup. I don't get me wrong. I understand if you're going to slate a team or you win the Carling Cup and you only beat Shrewsbury and you know Notts Berry Farm and all these joke teams. The Champions League. If you're a team in the Champions League semi-final, you earned you didn't get there by mistake.
That's right.
You know, you didn't get there by mistake. If you want to talk, when we beat Bayern and Barcelona, when we won the other Champions League, people were moaning that no one cares about your path to the final. We lost at the end of the day. So what did it? You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything.
Even the Carling Cup this season or the Carabao Cup, we had to knock out Leicester, Arsenal in the semi-final. It's not like we went to start beating Shrewsbury to knock them out. We had to play Premier League teams all the way from third round all the way. I think it's only one. Maybe it was only the first couple of rounds we played lower league teams. After that, all the other three teams that we played all the way to the final were Premier League teams, and not just like bottom Premier League teams. These are Leicester. Leicester they were 1 minute away from knocking Liverpool out of that Carling Cup. They were 1 minute away. Remember, it was Minamino that scored in the 90th minute to even save us. So it's not like, oh, okay, you guys just got to the Carling Cup final. We paid our dues, man. We paid our dues to win those trophies. I don't need to defend us winning trophies. I just feel some people have misplaced. I don't know if it's trolling. To me, it feels like it's not trolling. It's like they want to dismiss. Oh, you didn't score in the final, so you didn't deserve to win it.
I want to put things in perspective for you, so you understand something. I understand this a lot as a Manchester United fan. You're just getting there, so youngin, you will understand it later. Huh?
That's it.
You've had the term ABU, anybody but United. You're getting anybody but Liverpool, anybody but City kind of chance. When you start doing so well, especially when people are going, we're going to have the greatest team ever. We're going to win the quadruple night club. Oh, is this the greatest ever football champion ever? Is this ever greatest ever?
I see where you're going.
Team?
I agree.
Blah, blah, blah. Then people start going, okay, but you didn't win this. You only won this. You only won that. Why? Like people start trying to contextualize what you've done, not because they don't feel what you've done is good, but when they start going, okay, you're trying to immortalize these guys. What happens then is 10 years down the road, people start going, appreciating it more. But in that moment, because of nostalgia, people are going, no, you're not as good as those guys. But if you had one, for example, the quadruple, people wouldn't have a lot to say. So
they would. That's one thing I like about football. Let me tell you, in football, no matter how you win something, there will always be jibes. I remember even when we won the league, we were like, oh, it's because of COVID pandemic or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. Even though we had won 25 matches out of the first 26, 25 out of 26, we had a 25-point gap. 25-point gap. And people were saying, it's because of COVID. So I just believe in football. That's why I'm learning to deal with it. That no matter how well you win something, people will always come out. So look at even Madrid. Madrid won the league and the Champions League. And people are still dissing them. Oh, they were not the better team. They were lucky. They were this, they were that.
I don't think they were the better team. I think they were the lucky. They wanted the lucky.
Yeah. But they still won it. At the end of it, that's what when people win something, people will always want to discredit them. Like I believe if Liverpool win the league and win all 38 games, there will be people who say, oh, why didn't you win each game 5-0? There will be people like that. There will always be people who they will diss you one way or the other. They will always find something. There's no. It's football fans. It's rivalry. Right. They will always be or they'll be like, oh, your player did not finish top scorer. Oh, you won the league, but your player did not finish top scorer. Or maybe your goalkeeper did not win the Golden Gloves. They will find something. They will find something. So I'm learning to deal with it. It's just I just need to address it sometimes.
It's just the same kind of thing. When you sign a player for £100 million and people, or 50 million or whatever, people start going, "Oh, he scored 10 goals, but come on, for that price, he should be scoring 3 goals a game." You hear those kind of stuff, and you go, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Like, so it's just part of it. Comes with the territory. It comes with success. So get used to it. But I don't think you should get too used to it as well, because I personally think Liverpool are about to hit a ceiling, or they've hit a ceiling. And that's what we're going to talk about. What areas do you think Liverpool needs to improve? And then what transfers should they make? And of course, you've already made one, Darwin Nunez. I'm going to chime in about Darwin Nunez at the end. You might call me sour, but I'll just be very honest. It's what I've always thought about him. But in general, I think Liverpool have hit a ceiling. I think a club is eking out from the squad better, a lot more than they can get. Liverpool have needed transfers in a lot of areas, and they are not getting it done. I think the owners are a bit slow. I think, or a bit miserly. Because you think about it. Yeah, Trent is very important to everything Liverpool does, so he shouldn't have to play almost all the games. What happens when he gets injured? It's a similar kind of thing with this defense. It was a problem with the defense until they brought in Konata, and you see how much he improved the team. I think there are areas where players are getting stale. People like Origi and Coach moved out of the club for fresher people, fresher kids. A little bit of rejigging the team might be good. Keita, Henderson. I think Henderson, people might say he's your captain and whatever, but I think he's also served his. I think you guys can do better in a lot of areas. You can get better, because if you're talking of these guys as starters, I'm not sure they're what you want to be starting with next year and the year after. I'm just being honest. That's what I think. So what do you guys think? Ryan, I'll let you start.
Well, no, I agree with the points that you've made, and I don't necessarily think we've hit a ceiling. We are in the process of restructuring a bit. So all those areas that you mentioned, we have been linked with players, and Nunez was just the first that we've pulled the trigger on. And I've got to admit, I am happy with how quick we've acted to try and fill that void. As soon as we knew Mane was moving on, it's been what? I wanted 2 weeks. And this deal looks like it's going to be wrapped up in the next, 48 hours or so. So that's one hole that's been plugged. As far as right back spot, we still have, Joe Gomez there to cover, because he can do either right back or centre back. And he did show this season that he's a decent, not perfect, but he's a decent deputy for Trent at right back. But we're linked with Calvin Ramsey, who plays for Aberdeen, that he's coming from. I don't know too much about him. However, I know based on our policy of signing players that we wouldn't be linked with a player unless he does a specific role a certain way. Same with Tsimikas. I didn't know much about Tsimikas, but maybe he wasn't fantastic in his first season. This season, as a deputy for Robertson, he was superb. I think he was absolutely brilliant. As far as the midfield. Now, I feel that is the area in which we desperately need a rejig. I feel like Fabinho and Thiago are no-brainers as far as, their importance in the middle. Henderson is still extremely important. However, I feel as though he may have hit his peak. And I think some performances this season show that maybe he has peaked a bit. You wouldn't be getting rid of him at all, because he is still a vitally important part of the squad. Same with Milner. His experience is extremely vital, and I feel as though if you're getting younger players in, someone as professional as him is the perfect person to sort of learn under and help you adapt to the league. Now, as far as the likes of Keita, I am skeptical about giving him a new contract. When he's good, he's pretty good. He's not excellent.
That's when the problem. When he's bad,
you notice it. That's the problem. Yeah. And you can't have players. Fabinho, the only really poor game, I think maybe there was 2 really poor games he had this season. One of them, he was shattered and he ended up getting injured that game. I think that was the Villa. No, that wasn't the Villarreal game. Who was that against? Was it the game after Tottenham, I believe? But he ended up coming off. That was right before the Champions League final. Was it the Wolves game? Was it Wolves? He come off.
Was it Villarreal? Villarreal. I think.
No, he scored against he scored against Villarreal, so it wasn't the Villarreal game. It may have been
Aston Villa.
Villa, that's the one. Yeah, thank you. It was Villa. He got injured in that game. He was terrible in that game, and I think he had one of the game where he was pretty poor. But as far as Thiago and Fabinho, those two are crucial. Now, I feel as though the Ox, he can go. I personally wouldn't be giving Keita a new contract. I would sort of cash in on what you can get, and hopefully you still probably get about 30 mil for him, maybe because of his experience and the competition he's experienced in. Try and recoup some of that money that we paid for him. Minamino, I think he's going already. Nico Williams, Nat Phillips, I think we're keeping because, like you mentioned, last season we had some mistakes season before we had some mistakes with defenders and letting them go. So I think we're looking to keep hold of maybe just loan him to Bournemouth or Fulham so we can play in the Prem. But definitely, I feel as though we need to strengthen in the middle. We've got a sitting midfielder that can pick out a pass in Thiago, and we've got a player that breaks up play in Fabinho. So I think what we're missing is a bit of creativity and maybe more of a box to box midfielder. We were actually having this discussion in the WhatsApp group earlier. I'm gutted we missed out on Tchouaméni because I feel as though he would have been perfect, but he's getting more money at Real Madrid now, so okay, that goes without saying. There's not too many players like that about anymore, that can play that Yaya Toure role. Obviously not to his level because he was a freak of nature, how good he was, but that type of play, I would love if we were able to sign. I know he's still young, but someone like Bellingham, I think he would be brilliant in our team. But again,
he's not coming there.
You're looking. He's not going to Man United. I promise you that now. He will not go to Man United. But I feel as though the money that you would be looking to pay for him right now is crazy. My fear is that we end up getting Declan Rice again. That's another player. I rate him. I think he's really good, but that's stupid money. Declan Rice is not worth what I don't even know how much you're going to charge for him.
You just paid 100 million euros for Darwin Nunez, who I don't think is worth the money either.
I mean, yes and no. I feel as though I would rather risk it on someone like him than these English players, knowing what the best they have to offer. When you think about some of the players that we've signed, they came with reputations. They were good, and we made them better. I feel as though we could make them better.
If you ask me to choose between Darwin Nunez and Jude Bellingham for 100 million pounds or 100 million euros, it's easily Jude Bellingham any day. But Jude Bellingham is a kid that plays like a man already.
Well, so is Darwin Nunez.
No. Darwin Nunez has an atrocious first touch. Darwin Nunez is a striker that hates to play with his back to goal.
The game I watched.
Second Lukaku.
The game I watched him. The game I watched him play against Liverpool. If Benfica played the way they did against any other team but Liverpool, he would have scored about 4 goals. That offside trap that we play, he is marginal. Even the one he scored that they called offside. That's how close it was. And our offside trap is unbelievable. It's scary to watch, and I hate watching it a lot of the time. But it's very effective. And if that was any other team trying to do that, he scores 5 or 6 goals. Now, I'm not saying he's going to come and score 50 goals straight away, but I have faith in Klopp in identifying someone that he wants and knowing how to mold him into our team. And I feel like he will do that. The guy had a work rate like I've never seen. It was like Bobby the way he was tracking back. At one point, he was at left back, winning the ball back and playing out. Okay, his first touch might not be perfect or whatever, but I feel as though we have enough players that want it to be played to feet, and he will get him behind, and he can get him behind, and he's shown he can do that. But I know what you're saying about the Bellingham Nunez issue. We need if Mane's going, we need a striker. That goes without saying. We need a striker. We've basically got a team full of wingers. Firmino is more or less a number 10 / number 8.
Is he still alive?
He's still there. Bobby, he was plagued by injuries this season. So do you know what? No one can say anything bad to me about it. I think there's only one game where I was cursing him out this whole season, but no one could say a bad word. Firmino is, the complete professional. Someone that was in the front three, and you're notorious for being in Liverpool's famous front three, and then you get put, relegated behind Jota, and you still play with a smile on your face without complaining. You don't read anything about Firmino because he just gets on with the job. Now, those are the kind of players I like, and he's unfortunately not going to get you 25, 30 goals a season. There's no guarantee Nunez will do it, but I believe he can do it. So we needed to plug that position, but I don't think we're not done in the transfer market. Just watch the space. I feel as though there's someone else.
You spent half your kitty already, or more than half your kitty. So I don't know where the money's coming from.
Well, we're still selling players. I mean, at the end of the day, I know our owners can be miserly, especially when it relates to wage packets. But I'll give them the due when it comes to buying someone that we need. They will spend the money.
Yeah, it's right. Yes,
exactly. It's the wage packets that they take issue with, and I don't have too much of a issue with that, But I still think we've got if we sell Mane, we sell a few others. Okay, that's Nunez more or less. The funds completely recouped, and that's without us touching a penny of our own. So I think we would still spend money.
No, you're not recouping money for Nunez from selling Mane. Mane is going to be like 20.
No, I'm not Mane, not just Mane. So Mane would cover about a quarter of the sale.
Yeah,
but there's still about 3 or 4 players that we're looking to sell. That would more or less, because we're not giving that whole money isn't going up front. It's what 68 mil, I think.
Yeah.
And then with add-ons.
With add-ons. And then the thing I think about the wages, that's why actually I don't understand that. As I think Allah knows this too, because we hinted a lot where the guys that pay more wages actually end up winning more trophies. I think it's affecting Liverpool, or will affect them in the long run. This miserly thing about wages. It's better you mize on transfer fees and pay wages, because I think that's why money is living.
Look, if Mane goes, he goes. See why I'm not worried. Every player that has left Liverpool, and you've thought, my God, this is the end of the world. I can write a book on the number of players. I'm not worried. Attackers is one position I'm not worried about. When Michael Owen left, it felt like the end of the world. When Torres left, it felt like the end of the world. When Suarez left, it felt like the end of the world.
It was the end of the world for years, man. It was darkness.
Okay, no, that was 2 years. That was like a 2-year period when we didn't have any striker.
Yeah, but
because you forget Suarez was banging in goals when we were crap, and he was banging in goals when we were good.
What I'm saying is Michael Owen leaving, for example. Michael Owen leaving. You guys were on the up.
We were on the up. No, we weren't. That was we finished sixth in the league.
No. But he wasn't a good team that was building up. That's what I'm saying. The team was building up, and then this is the first time since 2001.
All I can back me up. When Michael Owen left, that team was crap. That was
just before the Champions League. Yeah,
when we won the Champions League, that was a crap. That
was just
team.
before. Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Because he left that season, and we bought Cisse, and we were terrible in the league. We finished 5th in the league. We didn't even qualify for the Champions League. For the fact that we won it. It was the next season. We did really well. Was it the following season or the year after?
That we 2006. We won
the FA Cup, and then I think we finished second.
Yeah. For me, well, basically, for me, I'll start with the issue of midfield. So that's one of the disappointments for me this season. Curtis Jones, talented player, but for some reason he just couldn't build any momentum this season. I think he started the season with an eye injury, and then he didn't play for weeks. And then when he got into the team, he didn't do very well. So that is one person I was looking forward to providing that attacking impetus from midfield, because he has a goal in him. He has a sharp eye for goal, but he's 21 years old, I think, now. And I was thinking this season was the season I was going to push on, but it didn't. So that was a disappointment for me this season. I agree with you guys about Keita. I like Keita, but the inconsistency is still there. You never really know what you're going to get with Keita. So that's why I was really hoping Curtis Jones was going to step up this season.
I agree with you there completely, because he smashes it in the under-21s for England and stuff like that, but he can't translate that to the first team on a regular basis. So the biggest issue for me, I'll start with the Nunez one. The Nunez one, of course, it's not going to be exactly 100 million euros, because some of those add-ons you will need to be. I think we will need to win everything for us to pay those add-ons. We'll need to win every single trophy available. We might, but for me, the issue is Mane and Salah are going to be 30 years old, and with sports science, I believe we could get 3 good years more out of them. At least they can still, in my opinion, they could still play to that 33, 34 at a high level. And that's why I have issue with FSG.
They are fantastic owners. I think overall they are fantastic owners. But the fact that we're spending that much on Nunez and we don't want to take a bit of that, I know I'm just trying to justify, like, this is not Football Manager, of course. But if I was in charge, and if this was like Football Manager, I would have said, okay, instead of putting close to 100 million towards Nunez, let's take some of that money and renew one of the contracts for Salah or Mane. Because I believe those guys still have a lot to offer. Look at Mane this season. He didn't start very well. He went to the AFCON. He won the AFCON, came back, and then Klopp moved Mane to the middle. He started playing like a number 9. And his numbers were incredible. It worked so well in playing through the middle. And you were thinking, man, this guy even has a shout for Ballon d'Or this season. That's how close. If Liverpool had won the Champions League final, Mane was in for a very good shout for Ballon d'Or. That showed how good he has been this year.
And he transferred that form to Senegal. He started playing center for Senegal and banging in goals too. That's why I'm wondering why he's leaving, because he's the best form of his life.
Bucci, you've said it already. It's the wages. It's the wages. Because him and Salah want more wages, higher wages, and the club don't want to break this with the wage structure.
They don't want to pay 2 of them. They want to pay one and leave the other one.
Yeah. No, even Salah might go. Salah is not renewing. Salah has just said, look, I'm staying next season, but that's his last year. So he can go for free because he has not signed the contract. They've not given him what he wants, basically. Now, I'm not going to be saying, give everybody what they want, because the club, we don't have oil reserve. We're not run by oil states. So I'm not going to say, okay, just give them what they want. We have to be run sensibly. But I'm just saying that if I was in charge and I had the resources, I'll keep both of them. And
because they've ended.
They find it, and I still believe because of sports science, like Mane and Salah, they don't get injured too often. It's not like they're injury prone. So I believe they can still get 3 years out of them at the top level. Look at Lewandowski, he's 34, 35. Look at Benzema, 34, 35, still banging in goals. Cristiano, almost 40 years old. Zlatan. Sports science has improved. You can get these players playing for more years. But there's no use crying over spilled milk, because I just think we are in the process of rebuilding, and the club, they are ready to let Mane and Salah go. So if they are rebuilding.
Please finish, please. So, excuse me.
Okay. So now we're rebuilding. We're in the next phase of the club revolution. Now, this is where you have to start putting a bit of faith into the manager. Me personally, I'm not so excited about Darwin Nunez. I am not. I'm happy we're buying somebody to replace Mane, but I'm not so excited about this fella. Number one reason for me is he has done it for only 1 year in the Portuguese league. Like he played maybe he scored 12 goals in his first season there, then he scored 34 goals. But for me, the Portuguese league is not a barometer for us to be spending that much money on him. I believe if he was in a top 5 league, like Ireland went to Germany, went to beat it over there. If we went maybe to Spain and scored a few goals before we bought him, I'll be more comfortable. But in coming straight from the Portuguese league, which is not the strongest league, it doesn't make me very confident. But the only reason why I am fine with it is our record on that club with buying this kind of players. It's excellent. Like when we buy top players and when we spend big money, they always hit the point. So that's the only reason that, okay, I have faith that, these guys, they must know what they're doing. Like, I'm not an expert. They must have watched them. They must have analyzed everything. So they must be fine with paying that money. And I think also Klopp loves him because he's a good-looking guy. Because that's what Klopp did. Yes, the first time we played against them and he scored against us, that's the first thing Klopp said. He said, "Oh, very good-looking boy, isn't he?" Like, seriously. You're like, oh, wow, is that the barometer for buying players now? Because he's good-looking. So that's why I have faith. I'm just like, okay, if
Klopp don't let EJ see him more.
Exactly, they will adopt him. So my point is like, we're in the next stage of the revolution. We're building we have Jota, who just came in last season. We have Diaz. Now Diaz is another thing for me. I love Diaz, but his numbers have to improve. So this is one of the things. If you are letting Mane and Salah go, you're letting close to 50 goals a season go. Because Salah is getting like 30 goals a season. Mane is getting at least 20 goals a season. If you are letting those guys go, then you must be hopeful that the guys you are bringing in are also scoring close to that number. Now, Diaz, for all he's exciting, he's a threat, we need his numbers to improve. He scored 6 goals, I think, in like 20 games. That has to improve next season. We don't want him just looking exciting, looking threatening. We have to get in that box and score because that's what Liverpool forwards do. So I want more from him next season. Jota started very well. But it tailed off towards the end. But I think he still scored like 20 goals.
His numbers were also sustainable. He was having a career season, what you call an Indian summer.
No, I think the main issue was Diaz coming in. Because when Diaz came in,
the dynamic of the front three completely changed. People were playing out of position and stuff like that. Sort of messed things up.
So I think that was the biggest problem. That was the biggest problem for him because he didn't really get in the team after that. It was Diaz, Mane, Salah. The last.
And now you have another forward that wants to go wide.
Exactly. So Bucci, fantastic point. That's one of the things I'm worried about too. Now we have Diaz who plays from the left. Jota also likes playing from there. And Nunez, from what I've seen, like pulling out to the left too. So I'm like, are we going to be overloading that side? What's going to happen to the right? Are we not looking to buy somebody to replace Salah? Because we don't really have anybody who plays from that flank for like where Salah plays from. We don't have any proper alternative for Salah. That's why I would have loved Jared Bowen. I know when we're linked to Jared Bowen the season before, people were like, who's this fella from West Ham that he's useless?
Quality.
And then and then all of a sudden he started banging goals and people were like, oh, Liverpool were right. We were right to be linked to him because he showed how good he is. But of course, maybe West Ham probably wants £100 million or something.
Yeah, of course. English tax.
English tax. So that's why we didn't get. But I'm worried about us getting somebody to play from where Salah is because I am almost certain Salah is not signing a new contract because they're not going to give him 400k. They don't give him that 400k. So my guy is leaving for free. So I'm worried about, okay, where is the Salah replacement? But like Ryan said, the transfer window is still long. So this is just the beginning. We might actually still getting more players because we're selling Minamino for a profit of 10 million. We're selling Ox. Ox is gone. We're going to sell maybe a couple of the guys at the back. I don't know. Maybe not Philip, they might keep him or not. I don't know. But we're going to raise money. But the issue is raising that money is not going to be enough if you're not going to replace the numbers. So it's one thing bringing in bodies, saying, oh, you're replacing somebody, but you have to replace the numbers that you're losing. So for me, that's the issue. The midfield, you guys covered it already. Midfield, we lack that box-to-box. Jude Bellingham would have been fantastic. That guy, you guys are right, he's top class already. For his level, he's top class. But Dortmund won't want to lose 2 of their big players in one summer. They'll
give them money, they'll take it.
True.
I don't think so.
There's no way Dortmund will refuse.
They'll take it. I think they'll take it. If you tabled 100 million tomorrow, they'd be like, pack your bags. You've gone. Yeah, you've gone.
You sure? I thought I think for sporting integrity,
I think if you play in that German league, you're used to it. You're just a seller club. Like when you're buying your neighbors, you just sell.
It's only Bayern Munich that has sporting integrity. With all due respect, I'm not trying to diss Dortmund, but they would sell. They need that. They need that money. They already have like a spreadsheet of 20 players they can buy for £10 million and convert that money to another 50 million, £100 million player. They will sell. What they're just doing is they're just trying to eke out, get a top transfer every season. But if they get bang, like if Man City didn't buy Haaland this season and next season, which we know Jude is most likely going, and Haaland was still there, they'll sell the 2 of them in the same window. It's just a matter of, okay, let's do once a season. That's just it. But
it's still my dream signing. It's my dream signing for the midfield. My dream signing.
Everybody's dreaming about that boy. So it's gonna be. It's gonna be. It won't be like unless there's a coup like Haaland, where people like City goals and because what happened with Haaland? That's what happened with Haaland was Mbappe. Mbappe took Madrid's eye off the ball, and they were so focused on him, and no other person wanted to go there because they knew it was expensive. And Man City decided to go there and do everything they had to do and get him. Because if Madrid knew they weren't going to get...
they would have been on him all over him. Yeah.
They would have been all over him. And it would have been a more expensive transfer. So I think that might be the case with Jude because nobody in this world would not want... this thing. I'm talking about wasteful transfers. It was the same thing. Like I would have thought Chouameni should have been about 50, 60 with all due respect for what he's done in football. And he was making 100 million euros. And I'm going.
Have you seen the spreadsheet for like I think it's like the last 10 years Monaco transfers? They've recouped about just over £500 million in transfers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Half
And
a billion.
Yeah, they develop players and sell a lot of players for
Yep.
good money. And I'm going, wow. So, all right, we're about to wrap up. And our last topic for the day is a very lighthearted one. Funniest moments of the season. Please don't mention.
Please let me go
Please
first.
don't mention Manchester United.
Let me go
please.
first, please.
Right,
Don't worry,
Ryan,
you're safe. You're safe. Funniest moment of the season for me, a country mile. Discrediting, the United stuff. That is its own category. Has to be Alisson wasting time against Everton after Pickford did it all game. Oh my God. I've never felt so happy and laughed so much in my life. Just the pointless, we're already 2-0 up and just pointlessly wasting time just to, rub it in Evertonian face, especially Jordan Pickford's face. I mean, he's a Liverpoolian treasure for the rest of it, just from that moment alone. Never mind all the amazing stuff he's in that one moment. Oh, it was perfect.
Perfect. That's one other big disappointment for me. This is Everton not going down. I was just so angry. I was so angry at Chelsea because it was Chelsea that gave them hope. Because if Chelsea had beaten them, they would have gone down. I was like, Chelsea, you guys caused this. You should have put Everton out of this league. Like if they've lost that game, then I've done. I was so angry. But
it was Sean Dyke and co too.
I think they would have survived. I think Everton just picked up good results at the right time. They beat United, I think they beat Chelsea in the space of 2 weeks. So they got 6 points that nobody would have guaranteed them. Those are points you would have thought, they probably won't win any of those games, and then they won both games, and that built momentum for them. Yeah, but that Pickford one was so funny because Pickford was just was being a big toss at
10 minutes on the floor. Oh my God, I hate him so much. I can't stand him. I can't stand Pickford.
And then he became a hero.
Well, United in that one, I wish Everton went down too. I was sick of them. But I'm glad it was Burnley because Burnley, if there's a club that deserved to go down, was Burnley. With all due respect, they just been paying their managers a lot of money and putting the rest of the money in their owners' pockets.
Yeah. That's what they're doing.
Surviving the Premier League too. But we have
one
more
to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
well, mine is Joe Matip hitting Anderson on the head. I probably remember this one. Like Liverpool scored a goal in Champions League, and all the other were celebrating, and back just came and hit Anderson on there like he was drumming on his head, and Anderson was like, who is this? And I was like, and then Matip had this goofy laugh. Very goofy laugh, and they made it into a meme. It became a meme. Like it was just so funny.
I saw that meme. Yes, I saw the meme.
Yeah. It's a funny fella. That's Matip. He has this not weird personality. He just has this laid back personality that everything he does looks funny. Even when he's going up front from the back, he's just running, dribbling past us. You're just like, this guy is just going to score one, and then eventually scored. He scored one of those goals where he just overlapped from the back. Then he played a 1-2 with Salah, and then Salah gave it back and he scored. And you're thinking, this guy, he could do more of this. He could do more of this. Really, he could. But it's funny when he's going up front. It's funny.
I'm convinced the day Matip leaves is the day Van Dijk will consider leaving because those two are like this. Van Dijk loves Matip. He loves
him.
Yeah.
He loves him.
He loves him.
Let me ask you guys quickly. Do you have one more? Do you have one? Can you come up with one more each? Because you guys don't want me to have the last word on this.
Okay, since you put it that way,
So I'm gonna just throw one in before you. Because if I do it, it won't end on a happy note for you guys. The funniest moment of the Liverpool season for me was Van Dijk doing a Maguire in the Champions League final.
That really annoyed me. If you know how angry I was, Bucci. If you know, even before they scored. I was shouting at the TV. I was like, close him down. He does that a bit. No, sorry to go on a rant. I'm going to rant now. Van Dijk does that in a bit where a player is coming and you think, why don't you go and close the player down? Then you'll be waiting. And when that guy took the ball, Valverde took the ball, he was in loads of space and Van Dijk had the chance to go and close him down. And I was screaming. I'm not joking. I was screaming. Go and close him down. He didn't, and the next thing, the guy just hit the ball across and they scored.
What's more disappointing is that it was only Valverde. It was only Valverde. If it was Vinicius, fair enough. but it was.
No, it should have. Because people want to blame Trent. People want to blame Trent for that goal. For me, it's on Van Dijk. It's on Van Dijk. He should have gone close, put pressure on the person who is about to cross the ball because there was nobody else in the box. Why are you standing there on the edge and then like was it like a Maguire?
He was trying to anticipate the pass for the overlap. He was trying to do two things at once. Watch him and then he got caught in no man's land. Yeah.
It annoyed me. I was like, no, that's his fault.
That's understandable. That whole match would have annoyed you. Everything about that game would have annoyed you. So
it did. Trust me, it annoyed me. Everything about it.
Yeah. So Ryan, you said you have one more.
Nah, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm good.
Come on,
9-0.
I'll end on my
9-0.
Nice. Okay. Liverpool fans singing "Ollie at the wheel." Yeah, that
was a funny one. That was a funny one. That was
an enjoyable one. I did enjoy it.
Ole the legend. Oh,
he's still a legend. He's still a legend.
Yeah,
not a legendary manager. If anybody tells me anything about managing that club, I'll knock him out. Straightforward. Just go and boom, knock him in the mouth. Just keep quiet, please. All right, guys. We've come to the end of this episode. It's been a good review. This one went very fast because when things are going well, you guys seem to have a lot. You have quicker things to say. If it was Manchester United, we would have a lot of arguments going on. Right
2 hours. So, you guys, we spent 2 hours.
We spent 2 hours, but then we also had about 6 people, and oh god, everybody had something nasty to say. But, congratulations on disappointing, almost quadruple season. But
thank you. We'll manage it like that. We'll manage it.
At the same time, it was better than what a lot of people had. I don't wish you well next season. That's just the truth. I don't wish you
vice
well
versa.
Season. But I think you guys should do well in the not in the Champions League, in the transfer market. You tend to do well there. But eventually all good things come to an end, and I have an inkling feeling that it's about to end sometime. And I pray it ends in tears, man. I pray it ends in tears.
Time will tell, brother.
We have flop for 4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah, you forget that's the best signing of the season, regardless of what happens. That contract renewal is the signing of the season.
I pray he gets overwhelmed like he did in Dortmund and goes, I'm not gonna see this contract out. I gotta leave. But wishes are not horses, so
yeah, true.
So that's about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this podcast. Once again, this is YouTube at Footy Fantasy, Facebook at Footy Fantasy, Twitter at Footy80 Fantasy. Please follow us, subscribe, and drop your comments. We'll read them after. And if we need to come back to it, we'll come back and address it. It's been a wonderful season. We're looking forward and preparing for next season, which which will start in about exactly 8 weeks from now. So we will do more reviews. We'll do a monthly review later. We'll review the whole Premier League season and talk about what we look forward to doing next season. And a lot of your regulars will be back. You'll probably see Ryan one more time before the summer is over. Definitely you see a lot of me and Dola. So please follow, subscribe, and it was nice having you. Good night.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
All the best.
Bye.